Why is there still drama finding peace in retirement communities? An opening note of reflection. Imagine this. You arrive at your local senior community gathering, excited for a warm afternoon of chatting, laughter, and connection. But within minutes, you sense a subtle tension. Whispers float across the room. Side remarks, subtle snubs. And suddenly, you wonder quietly to yourself, why, at this stage in life, am I still caught in drama? If you've ever felt this way, you are not alone. Today, we're going to gently explore a topic that's often left unspoken, but deeply felt: social conflict in senior communities. Because even as we grow older, our need to be seen, heard, and valued does not fade. Sometimes the smallest wounds inflicted by those closest to us can feel the most profound. But take heart. This conversation is not about blame. It's about understanding, healing, and finding peace in the spaces where we gather. Together, we'll discover how to keep our hearts open, even when the room feels tight. The awakening moment. Hello, I'm your online neighbor, a fellow retiree walking this path with you. Today, from one heart to another, I want to talk about something many of us face but rarely discuss openly: the social conflicts that arise within our senior communities. Retirement is often painted as a peaceful chapter, a time to relax and enjoy. But for many, it's also a time of seeking new connections, new communities. And ironically, these places where we hope to find comfort and companionship can sometimes become sources of tension, misunderstandings, and hurt feelings. Whether it's a community center, a social club, or a place of worship, navigating relationships in retirement can bring unique challenges. Today, we'll explore why these conflicts happen, what science tells us about human connection in later life, and practical ways to foster harmony and understanding. By the end of this talk, you'll have tools and insights to help you move through conflict with grace, compassion, and strength. The awakening of curiosity to understand why conflicts arise in our later years. It helps to look at what research tells us about aging and relationships. Dr. Laura Carstensen, a leading psychologist, developed the socio-emotional selectivity theory. She explains that as we age, we become more aware of our limited time, which makes us more selective about who we spend time with. We prioritize meaningful, close relationships and tend to avoid superficial or draining interactions. But when expectations around connection don't match reality, or when old wounds resurface, conflicts can emerge. We might find ourselves more sensitive to slights or misunderstandings. Dr. Robert Waldinger, director of the Harvard Study of Adult Development, emphasizes that good relationships keep us happier and healthier. Yet he points out, it's not just about having relationships, but having relationships where you can be open and authentic. In retirement, we're not only challenged to make new friends, but also to reconcile with ourselves and others. Sometimes, unresolved feelings from the past can color how we perceive others, making conflict more likely. So while aging can bring wisdom, it also brings emotional complexity. Understanding this helps us approach social challenges with empathy for others and for ourselves. Insight 1. Shift perspective. From who's wrong to what's hurting. One of the most powerful shifts we can make when facing conflict is to move from asking who's to blame to what pain might be behind this. Dr. Becca Levy's research shows that many social conflicts among older adults stem from hidden emotional struggles, loneliness, loss of identity, or past traumas that haven't fully healed. What looks like irritability or stubbornness may actually be a cry for understanding. So how can we practice this shift? First, when tensions arise, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, what might this person be experiencing beneath the surface? Instead of jumping into an argument, consider opening a gentle, private conversation. Sometimes, a heartfelt question or a simple gesture of kindness can diffuse tension more than any debate. Also, become attuned to your own feelings. Recognize when your own wounds or fears are coloring your reactions. This self-awareness creates space for compassion. As Dr. Richard Leider wisely said, Everyone carries a story you haven't heard. Approaching others with curiosity rather than judgment helps build bridges instead of walls. Insight 2. Cultivate relational intelligence, not just patience. Navigating social dynamics in retirement isn't just about being patient. It's about developing what Dr. Nancy Schlossberg calls relational intelligence. This means learning to adapt and communicate with empathy and clarity. Patience alone can sometimes lead to passive acceptance of hurt, but relational intelligence encourages active engagement and understanding. How can we nurture this skill? Practice active listening. When someone speaks, really hear them without planning your response. Reflect back what you've understood. This simple act can transform conversations. Use I statements instead of you accusations. For example, say, "I feel left out when I'm not invited," instead of "you always ignore me." This reduces defensiveness and opens dialogue. If you're part of a community group, propose regular sessions for open sharing or reflection. These safe spaces allow members to express feelings and resolve tensions constructively. Dr. Ken Deichtwald reminds us that growing older is not just about adding years, but adding wisdom. Developing relational intelligence is a key part of that wisdom. Insight 3. Choose peace over winning. In many conflicts, the goal isn't to win, but to heal. Dr. Mo Wang describes retirement as a time of identity integration, where we gather the pieces of our life story and make peace with what's unfinished. Choosing peace means sometimes letting go of the need to be right. It means forgiving, even when apologies aren't offered. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself to release the burden of resentment. It also means protecting your own well-being. If a community feels toxic, it's okay to step back. Self-care is not selfish, it's essential. Ask yourself, is this conflict truly important, or is it my ego feeling bruised? This reflection can help you decide when to engage and when to let go. Dr. Waldinger puts it beautifully. The good life is built not on being right, but on being kind. Insight 4. Foster empathy through shared stories. One of the most healing ways to overcome conflict is through storytelling. Sharing personal stories creates connection and understanding. It reminds us that behind every behavior is a human being with fears, hopes, and history. Invite community members to share their journeys, challenges, and dreams. This can be done in small groups or informal gatherings. Dr. Lovra Carstensen's research supports this. Meaningful social interaction, especially involving emotional sharing, boosts well-being in older adults. When we listen to each other's stories, we break down barriers of judgment and build empathy. This empathy becomes the foundation for resolving conflicts and strengthening community bonds. Insight 5. Build new rituals of connection. Creating new rituals can help transform community dynamics. Rituals, whether weekly coffee chats, gratitude circles, or shared volunteer projects, provide predictable, positive interactions that build trust and belonging. Dr. Richard Leiter emphasizes the importance of purposeful connection in later life. Rituals give us a shared purpose and a sense of continuity. Encourage your community to co-create these rituals. When everyone contributes, the sense of ownership and respect grows. These rituals become anchors in times of tension, reminding us of our shared humanity and commitment to each other. The final light. Let's delve deeper into what science reveals about aging, conflict, and well-being. Dr. Becca Livy's studies on ageism show that internalized negative beliefs about aging can affect how older adults relate to others. If we unconsciously believe we are less valued, we might react defensively or withdraw socially, increasing conflict risk. Dr. Mo Wang's research on identity integration highlights that retirement is not just an end, but a complex transition requiring psychological adjustment. Successful adjustment involves reconciling past roles with new identities, which can be stressful and provoke interpersonal tension. Dr. Nancy Schlossberg's transition theory reminds us that how we cope with change depends on our resources. Support systems and perceptions. Building social support and reframing challenges as opportunities are key to thriving. Understanding these deeper layers helps us approach social conflicts with more patience and insight, seeing them as part of a larger process of growth and adaptation. From knowing to becoming, as we close, remember this: conflict can tempt us to withdraw and close off, but pulling away from connection only deepens loneliness. Choosing to stay present, gentle, and open, even when it's hard, creates space for healing. We may not change others, but we can change how we respond. We can create softer spaces for ourselves and those willing to grow alongside us. Dr. Robert Waldinger's words echo here. The good life is built on connection, kindness, and authenticity. May you find the courage to face social conflicts not as battles to win, but as invitations to deepen understanding and compassion. Until the next reflection before we go, I want to leave you with a thought. What if the conflicts we face in our communities are not obstacles, but doorways? Doorways to deeper connection, to healing old wounds, and to discovering new parts of ourselves. If today's conversation has touched your heart, I invite you to take one small step. Reach out to someone in your community with a kind word. Share a story. Offer a listening ear. Remember Maya Angelou's timeless wisdom. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. By choosing kindness, you create ripples that can transform not only your life, but the lives of those around you. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm your neighbor, your fellow retiree, and together we can build communities of healing, hope, and heart. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, take care of your heart and your community.